jump into it. Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking time out of your lives to spend some time learning some fun skills in this wonderful industry we call network marketing. I don't know about you, but I can't see myself doing anything else. I just absolutely love what we get to do, interact with people. And what I really love is it truly is a people helping people business. It allows us all to take things that are working and share ideas and concepts. And again, I love this platform. If you're brand new, this is interactive. So I'm going to ask you to comment and like and do all kinds of stuff. And, you know, we ask people to volunteer and share, and then we always do challenges at the end. And sometimes people do them and sometimes they don't. There's no judgment here at all. But, you know, the more that you and I can interact, the more that we can share ideas, I believe the better we all get, right? So working together. Hey there, Mr. Tim Miller. Good to see you, my friend. So we are, boy, there's a lot of people jumping on, but we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm curious, how many of you, let's go ahead and type in the chat, how many of you did the challenge from last week? If you did it, put in a 1, please. Let's just see if anybody did it. Betsy Waters did. Kathy, Mark, Bob. Well, a few of you did. That's good. I should have said how many of you didn't. We would have had all kinds of comments in there. I don't know what a 5 means, but 1, Tammy, maybe you did it. Maybe you did 5. That's awesome. So I'm curious.
0.5.
What's that?
0.5.
0.5. So you did half of it. Okay, I like that. Okay, I couldn't see the point, Tammy. I don't have my glasses on, but so Mark Williams wasn't here. Okay, thanks, Mark. Let's see here. Betsy, could you unmute yourself, please?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, so the challenge, Betsy, we were talking about teeing it up, and then we were talking about practicing the process of teeing it up, and we had several people share kind of how they tee up that next step, and just wondering if you got a chance to practice that, and if so, what were the results? Would you mind sharing with us?
Yes, absolutely. For practicing the process of teeing it up, one of the things that I have been working on that I did this week is to review people's videos who I highly admire. And the one that I mimicked, if you will, and really adapted for my own was Tim Sale's wife, Laura. And she did a video on Lucem and her process of what is the routine for utilizing the Lucem line. And so I used her video and I adapted it to my own, and I recorded my own Lucem video of how I apply the Lucem products as a routine daily. And I posted them in 2 different Facebook groups for our team. So what I'm working at doing in regards to practicing the process of teeing up is seeing people that are very highly successful and people that I want to duplicate their process. And so I've been getting a lot of great feedback. And then of course the company is helping us by this amazing Lucem Mother's Day specials. And so I'm getting a lot of activity in regards to the skincare line.
Fantastic. Good for you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wade, I think I saw you there put in a 1. Mr. Wade, would you be willing to unmute?
It was actually Julie. We're in the car together.
Okay. All right. Well, Julie, I know you guys have been having some fantastic success. What did you do as far as kind of the challenge last week? Can you willing to walk us through kind of what you did and any results?
So we had a friend who was asking us what we were doing as far as losing weight, because she's also trying to lose weight. And so I kind of took the bit where, sometimes you have someone watch a video and I think they can be overwhelmed or like, what am I supposed to get out of this? So with the teeing up, I know you had said like point out, like, hey, I really want you to, pay attention to this. Well, she was looking at skinny drops and the video I tagged her on was 40 minutes. So I said, the first 20 minutes are what I really want you to listen to, because that's all about the skinny drops. And so, but of course she ended up watching the whole thing, which is great. But it was just kind of like, okay, so I want you to focus on that versus oh my gosh, I got to watch a 40-minute video. You know, she did. But so I thought that was good because I do sometimes take people on videos. And I always kind of wonder, are they getting the point that I want them to get? So
fantastic. What was it? Did you get a result yet from that or not yet?
yeah, she actually got the skinny drops. And then we've been giving local people like 1 or 2 sticks of Elite and 1 or 2 cans of Blue Frog. And they have kids are athletic, and their daughter struggles with attention deficit, not necessarily diagnosed, but focusing. And so so she not only started the skinny drops, she's maybe thinking about getting them for her daughter because her daughter listened to the talk that Amy and Dr. Ginger did. And they've also tried the Elite and Blue Frog, just trying to decide which one they might want to get. So it's been great. I mean, really great turnout.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing, you guys. And here's the thing. And you made a great point, you guys. And this really does help a lot. So, you know, when you're teeing up a video, especially, or a recorded Zoom, I love to point somebody to that. In fact, I did it a couple different times today. I was talking to a police officer out of Detroit, Michigan, pretty much a cold call, and just, you know, kind of got to know him. And I said, listen, I'm just going to send you this video, but I really want you to pay attention to the middle. It has to do with, you know, working out and not so much weight loss, but getting fit. And you're right, Julie. Even if it's a long video, you guys, and you could say, hey, you can fast forward through the front and just pay attention to the, you know, minutes 1, 2, and 3, or 7, 8, 9. What tends to happen is it releases the pressure and they end up watching the whole thing, right? And you never know. Or I love to sometimes if there's a video that's about products and business, and they're telling you they're just interested in a product or two, point them to that product, say, hey, don't worry about the second half. That's all about the business. Well, what do we all want? What we can't have, right? So if you tell them, again, how you tee it up to them, many times they'll end up watching it and coming back to you and say, well, you should have told me to watch well, I thought you said you weren't interested in that. So great piece of advice. Love that. Let's see, is there anybody else last week that went through and just practiced teeing it up, or maybe used any of the styles that were shared with different people? If you did and I missed you, can you put it in here? Kathy Roberts, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Kathy, so what was your experience last week?
Well, we had a fellow come over and we showed him the presentation that was from Todd Rowland, all about the business. So he came here and he watched it, and he was really interested, and he just emailed me just before this thing, and he said he doesn't think he has enough time. He really likes it, but he doesn't think he has enough time. So I'm just leaving it for right now. I said, well, that's great. You have a good week. And I'll wait a couple weeks, and then I'm going to call him back again and send him another video so that he can see something else. But I don't like to be pushy, because if you're pushy, then they're gone.
Okay, and I'm not going to go too deep into this, although I'd love to do this we could spend the rest of the evening on this. But would it be okay if I give you just one quick suggestion?
Yes.
Here's what my immediate response when you were telling me his response would be. What was his first name?
His name, he calls it, it's a funny name, so he just says G. He calls himself G.
I'd say, hey, G, I couldn't agree more. That's exactly why I just sent you a video, because I'm really busy too. That's why I shared this with you, because it takes really no time. It took me less than 60 seconds to share a video with you.
Okay.
And then that's all I do, and I'd leave it and see what he comes back with. So that's just what I would do. But there's a little idea, right?
Okay, thank you so much. Because I will be in contact with him. We're friends now, so.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, tonight what I'd like to focus in on is follow-up, follow-through. You know, and again, guys, Tim Sales, I would say, is the master of teaching the follow-up, follow-through. In fact, the whole process. But follow-up, follow-through, and many of you have probably heard this. If you haven't, that's okay, but this isn't something new. But you know, they always say it's a cliche, but you know, the fortune is in the follow-up, and that could not be more true. I want you guys to think about let's do this. We're going to use a different number here. If it took you more than one time of somebody following up with you, so if you saw it, but somebody had to follow up with you more than one time, so you didn't sign up on the spot, you didn't get started on the spot, but it took you more than one time, put in a 2 in the comments. I'm curious. And I'd love everybody to participate in this. So if it took you more than one time of seeing this opportunity before you said yes, put a 2 in the comments. I'm seeing several 2s. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 2s. So I want you to, okay, so I'm just looking at a few right here. And you guys just remember, I'm not the most technology savvy, but so I'm looking at Verna, I'm looking at Tim and Dana Miller, I'm looking at Tammy Cauldron, I'm looking at Sandy, I'm looking at Jeanne Herrmann, Kim, Ashley Hilton, Valerie, Jen, Mark, Tammy Maltby. I mean, goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on Tammy for a minute. Can you imagine somebody sharing it with a Tammy Maltby and not following up and never giving her the opportunity to say yes? They just blew it off and just went on to the next. Guys, I mean, that this whole list, I mean, there's tons of them on here, right? But imagine, especially if you either put a 2 in, John and Antoinette, like if you put a 2 in there, how important is the follow-up? Now, if you didn't put a 2 in there, I want you to look at this list. You guys, there's a bunch of rock star networkers that could all be teaching this class that needed somebody to follow up with them more than one time, needed to see it a second time, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. I don't know how many times that it is. So I'm looking at that, and it should be a really for all of us an in-our-face reminder of we all must get better, in my opinion, at the follow-up, follow-through, right? And in a follow-up is not, Kathy, it's not nagging, it's not pestering. But you guys, if I'm excited about something and I'm certain that it's something that you can benefit from, I'm not bothering you. And if you and I do it right, then it can be very, very professional. You know, let's say, I don't know, has anybody ever bought a house? When your realtor scheduled an appointment to follow up to get this answer or that answer. I mean, think about things that you do, and you schedule appointments for people to make decisions. Well, if you and I are not scheduling an appointment for decisions, then it can get weird, because here's the problem with follow-up for, and I'd say somebody relatively new in the industry, because I made this mistake maybe a lot longer than most, right? I'm a slow learner, but when I get it, I got it. And so for me, I remember earlier on in my career, I would sit down and I'd share the opportunity with somebody, and maybe some of you can relate to this. And somebody said, well, yeah, I'm interested, Aaron. You know, yeah, I think I want to do that. You know, why don't you just get back with me? Well, when do you want me to get back with you? Oh, just, you know, in a couple days. So I want you to just, I don't know, maybe you can answer this for me. When is a couple days? What does that mean to you? Like, what does a couple days mean to you? You can type that in. What does a couple days mean to you? Is a couple days 2? Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 6? Is it a week? How many, or get back with me later. I'll get back with you a little bit later. When's a little, it's kind of like over yonder. Where is yonder, right? Like, you guys, when you and I, when people start saying, well, just get back with me in a little bit, or in a few days, what's a few days? So here's what would happen to me, because I'm excited and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you know, Tammy said to follow up with her and get back with her in a few days. So guys, a few days, that's kind of like a couple hours to me, because I'm excited and I want her to answer. So tomorrow morning, man, I'm on the phone, I'm texting, I'm calling, I'm like, hey, are you ready to start? Are you ready to start? And maybe they don't answer the phone. And so then what starts to happen, you think, oh my gosh, maybe she's not interested. So then you call, or maybe she didn't get my call, and then you're texting, and then you're calling, and you're texting. And then all of a sudden, we tend to start chasing. And the more you chase something, what tends to happen? The more something runs away, right? Instead of what happens as you and I learn the skill of, in my opinion, proper follow-up, follow-through, is if you would schedule an appointment, said, hey, listen, why don't we do this? Let's get back together. I will call you at such and such a time. And you know what? you can just tell me if you're ready to start or not. Right, set up the appointment for the follow through. I'm curious, Tammy, would you mind unmuting yourself if you're still here?
I am. Hi, Aaron.
How you doing, young lady?
I'm so sorry. I'm at a dinner.
Oh, that's okay.
I decided it was time to eat, but no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just sitting here with Jerry, and I love this conversation. This conversation is the alpha and omega of our business. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. So
totally.
Would you elaborate, Tammy? Because I know you're really, really good at this. Share really with people what you do as far as follow through. Would you please?
Follow-up is so huge. It's so huge. In fact, today I just followed up with a follow-up with a follow-up. And I have an appointment with him tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So I think there's a very delicate balance with this. And I think this is where our skill set needs to sharpen, where when we suggest to people, well, first of all, let me just say, the person that brought me into the business shared the opportunity with me. You ready? 5 times. And first it was just the product, then it was coming to a wine tasting party, then it was a follow-up. And eventually I started to look at it, not just the product. The product was amazing and I would easily purchase the product. But little did that person really know that I was looking for a business. And I think that's what we need to uncover, is what are people really looking for? They're going to tell you they need to lose weight, or they need more energy, or they need better immune system, right? But I want to suggest that most people really have poverty of the pocketbook. They are looking to create a residual income, and they need you. And I love that, just that powerful suggestion for people. Stay approachable. Do not start chasing people. So this is how I do. I'll just tell you how I prospect people and share the opportunity. So I will reach out to them directly with what their needs are, and we'll talk about that. And then I will say, I think I have something for you. I think I have something that you might find valuable. May I send you a link, or may I add you to a page, depending on what the person is looking for. And then I send that to them. And then generally I don't hear anything. So that should make you all feel really good, because I'm a CEO in this company. And I don't always hear back from people. But I always pursue, and I say, did you like what did you like best? This is such an important line. Write it down. This has really been one of the driving forces of my business. What did you like best about what you just saw? Don't ask people what they thought, because they're going to tell you every objection. What do you like best about what you just saw? Or what do you like best about what you just heard? And then listen and respond to that. And then continue. Like, I'll give you an example of what, this is real time, because this is a training, right? So we're talking real. So this gentleman that reached out to me for burn. Okay, great product. My husband's lost 80 pounds on burn. We have a beautiful transformation story about burn. And so he reached out. I started talking about the drops. I started talking about a pack. And all of a sudden he sent me a note yesterday, and he said, this is way too much information. We have to be careful not to overwhelm people. This is way too much. It really wasn't that much, but in his mind it was too much information. I just want to lose weight. And so I shot him, our smart link. And I said, great, here's the link for burn. I think this is exactly what you're looking for. And literally this morning at 6:30, he said to me, I want to meet you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, because I really want to talk about everything you sent me. So sometimes, Aaron, I think we need to take it back a little bit. We can't just be pushing. We can't just be pushing a product. We can't just be pushing a business. we have to be suggesting to people a better way. And then if they don't receive it, then we pull it back a little bit and we watch people's response. It's kind of like when you said, if somebody is watching a video, you say, forget the first 20 minutes, just start at, 21 minutes. I think that is so powerful, because I promise you, if the person that brought me into this business would have said this to me, I slam damned would guarantee you that I would watch the whole video. I would, because I'd be so curious. I'd be curious why they didn't think I needed the first 20 minutes. So I think this is an art. I think it's a practice. It's like a muscle. When you exercise it, it gets stronger. But if you're not out there actually doing something and taking action, you don't learn anything. So I think the more you get out there and you get feedback, whether it's not necessarily what you want it to be, but you can learn from that experience, and you can learn to be a really good question asker, and you can learn to follow up accurately, and then you can take it away. And I'll just end with this one thing. I walked this process through with someone that I am now going to be signing in with an ultimate pack. And this woman is amazing. She's a rock star, and she's going to do incredibly well in this business. But I want you to know it took me 6 months to prospect that caliber of a person. So have realistic expectations, but realize the fortune really is in the follow-up. And so thank you, Erin. I hope that was helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Enjoy your dinner. Thanks for coming on. And so I'm looking in the comments, and I see somebody said John and Antoinette. I know, guys, John, if you could unmute yourself. I know you guys alluded to this a little bit last week, but I mean, you guys are so good at following up and following through. And I know you guys work as a team. Would you mind kind of sharing some of your tips and ideas and how you guys, maybe how do you track, when you're working with so many people, how do you keep track of people that you got to follow up and follow through with?
Yeah, well, first of all, what Tammy just shared, that was like awesome. What we do, Antoinette's more of the tracker and I'm more of the talker, but what I do with people, and I've used this for so long, never had anybody give me any issue, but I always say to people, is it okay if I make a suggestion? And every single person I've ever asked that of, they always say, yeah, sure. And I go, I'm sure you can agree, as a professional, we run our business by appointments. So the suggestion I have is, why don't we get back on the phone on this date? Does that date work for you? And a lot of times I'll give them a couple of dates. I'll say, which one of the two works for you? And it sounds to them, and it's not manipulation, but what it is you're taking control of the conversation, because the one that asked the questions is in control. So I'll say, I have this or this, which is a better fit for you? And psychologically, they think, oh, okay, he's giving me the ability to choose. And I am, but I'm giving them the choices. The other thing that I do with people is I give them and I paint a picture which is true, we're growing so fast. And I say, you know what, you want to, and I always go and I interview them, just like what Tammy was saying. I interview them to find out what's lacking in their life. And then I'll say, based on what you just said, because if we come at them with what we think, and they haven't even told us anything that they're missing in their life, they will back up. But if you say, so is there any specific area of your life that you would like to improve now? And then I just, I listen to what they say. I go, oh, okay, okay. Okay. And then I'm just, the ahs and the ohs, that's the subconscious talking there. And then I go to them, I go, okay, so based on what you just said, what I'm hearing you say and clarifying what they're saying, I always use these skill sets, because then they feel more appreciated versus you going, oh my God, you've got to do this. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And they just tend to back up. And so asking questions like what Tammy was saying, and then also that statement of, based on what you've said, can I make a suggestion? Boom. But the follow up, this lady right here, the queen of that, because she's got it in her book, she's got it on her calendar. So when we're talking to people, go ahead and tell them what you do.
Well, you just pretty much told him,
okay.
right? You know, he'll talk to people. A lot of times we talk to people together too, depending on the person, or the situation or the questions that they have. Some questions, you know, he prefers that I answer, and you know, people know that we're working this together. And then we schedule appointments. We always have our calendar out, always available, so that we know, you know, what we have available to reschedule. And it's the big thing is, I don't care, even if it's product, the product or the business, we schedule follow-ups.
Yeah, we always schedule follow, even with products. Yep.
Even with that, just to follow up, answer their questions, and
we have it on our calendar. We don't, like you said, if somebody back with you later, I'll go, you know, this is a line I learned over 20 years ago. I can appreciate, you know, but when you say a couple of days, what is a couple of days to you? And then I let them tell me what a couple of days is. I don't assume what a couple of days is. And then I say, can I make a suggestion? And then we book it. Because people are really looking either for the product or the business or both. They're like, oh yeah, okay, let's do that. Like we have a schedule. We just spoke with a guy who not quite like what Tammy said, but we spoke, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and they've been looking. And he called last night. He called me, but that was because I kept sending him follow-up stuff. You know what? I want to do this. I said, great. So when do you want to? How he worded it, but he said, I can't do it right now. I said, okay, great. So when can you do it? And he goes, do it Friday. I said, let's schedule it. And he's on our calendar. And then I let him know, okay, just so that you understand, I'm putting you on my calendar. That gives them the feeling of, oh, this is a real appointment, and people will tend to call you when you do that.
Love it, love it, love it. Antoinette, is there anything that you specifically use? I mean, are you using something on the computer, your calendar? How's your follow-up? Like, how do you keep track of that? Is there anything? Is it piece of paper, old school, or something?
It's an actual
old school. Baby boomers.
Yeah, we like tangible, hands-on, right in front of us, write it out. Here it is. So that's us.
It's the at a glance.
At a glance calendar. Yep. And that's what we use for everything. And we put all of these appointments as well as anything else that we have going on in our life. And we schedule our week. We schedule our week on Sundays, and we put everything down. And then that way, as we're working our business throughout the week, whatever comes up, we can look and we know what we have where, and we know where our openings are. And then we
have fun. That's another thing. You got to have fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Yep. You got to have fun. This business is a blast.
It is. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys for all of that great information. I think I also saw Jeanne. I know Jeanne Herrmann, you are also fantastic about follow-up, follow-through. Are you still with us, Jeanne? Again, I'm just going by memory of who I saw jumping on.
Yes, I'm here, Aaron.
Yeah. So Jeanne, I know you've got some systems and some ways that you follow up and follow through, and you've got kind of your own process. Would you mind sharing some of your highlights of that? And maybe is there what do you use to track that then as well?
Sure. Well, every day I have it titled something. So I have my Momentum Monday, my Transformation Tuesday, Weight Loss Wednesday. So it doesn't matter in regards to whether it's the person who just started their journey or if it's a follow-up in regards to the video I sent them, and we schedule it. You know, I have a book that it's my daily operations, and it's timed out from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. and I put in there devotions and prayers and exercises and follow-ups, and I have a list of calls, and those calls may be someone who just started their journey a week ago, and I follow up to see how it's going and any questions or concerns on the products, and if they have any questions about anything else, have they set up their auto pay, just things like that. Or it may be a callback in regards to, like I said, the video. And so it's every day. I have something scheduled every day. My Saturday morning, I put in my, Zooms that I'm watching. So I'm staying consistent and staying scheduled just like I would at work. I have this time and this time, and it's a job. And so I schedule my time. And so like on Saturday mornings, I wake up and, because it's the start of the week, I check my, failed auto deliveries, my qualifying orders. And then I make a list of who's failed, and that goes onto my Monday calendar, because then that way I will call customer support, or reach out to them and see why they have a failed auto delivery. I also look at my 4-week cycle on Saturday. And so like, Jeanne and Antoinette said, on Sundays, I schedule out my week, and I know who I'm calling. I know what their previous weight loss was from the week before. So I can, points that they've made the week before, they're jotted down. And I just fill out the whole week in regards to that. And, I just try to stay consistent and engaged. And I know on Saturday, I really talked about, engagement, that, whether it's someone that's already signed up and it could be just a customer, I follow up every week with customers. And then when it gets to that 4-week, then it goes down to, monthly, that I follow up on their weight and health transformations. But every week, on Momentum Monday, they will get a reminder that it's their auto ship. And then on Fridays, it's just another friendly reminder saying, hey, I don't know if you had a chance to go in and adjust your auto ship. If you need any help or, have any questions, I'm here for you. So it's just staying connected with them. And then, when you're talking to them, not just about their journey, you're saying, hey, has anyone noticed? Is there anyone? I just got a call today that a girl that started a few weeks ago, her boss is saying, what are you doing? So now I'm talking to her boss.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You guys, and there's a lot of great points in there and all these ideas and suggestions and processes, but remember, following up, like Jeanne just said, isn't just about people that you want to get started as new customers or new brand partners, but following up with your current customers and brand partners is just important. Case in point, what she just said. So absolutely love that. I'm just going to ask a couple other people. I know Amy Summers is on here. Amy, I hope you're still here with us, because I know, Amy, you are also a master at the follow-up, follow-through, got massive teams all over the world. And you use different systems. Would you mind kind of sharing some of your modus operandi and what you do?
I would love to. And oh my gosh, Jeannie and John and Antoinette and Tammy Maltby. I mean, what I love about this, you guys, is everybody does some part of it, right? And so there's valuable information and everything. And I love what Tammy said. You guys, it's a delicate balance. But with the follow-up, I am old school. I am not a baby boomer, but I do have my calendar. So I have a calendar, which is my daily method of operation. And actually, just as you guys were talking, you were reminding me, this is my list of names of people that I have talked to. So I have a journal with a list of names. All right. And I highlight once. And when I talk to somebody, okay, so let me back up. So when I talk to somebody, I write down their name. And my goal is to find out what their need is, which you guys have all talked about, right? So I want to find out what their level of interest is, health, finances, or both. And I let them do most of the talking. I tell our team, whoever talks first loses. Okay. Let them do the talking. So I'll write down and I'll say, I'll just use Angie for an example. Angie, her health issues, I have it written down. And I'll do the follow-up. And so I've made a phone call to Angie. I said, I've got on the phone with Angie and I'm supposed to follow up with her on Thursday. Follow up. Okay. And it says signing up Thursday. And then I highlight it once they've signed up. You guys, you will believe me. You think you'll remember it, but you won't. So it was Jeannie, when Jeannie was talking, I'm like, wait a second. I was going through, I need to get back to mine. And I'm like, I need to, and look, and I look in there, I'm like, oh yes. I was just looking, I'm like, gosh darn it, that girl, so we need to, you guys, write it down, because even me, you'll forget, you guys, you get busy in life, right? Some of you still have jobs, kids at home. So I write it down, but you guys, I get really specific. Okay. And then I'll even get to the next level, because some of you guys are like master recruiters, like you're bringing in so many people. So I'll even write down, you know, because I want to follow up like Jeannie, you know, follow up with the people that are doing our program, the Transform X program. So I just wrote down, which Jeannie reminded me when she was talking, I needed to write down this girl, Jill Summers. Okay. And I might want to remember her because that's a family member. So I wrote that she's, you know, and so I wrote that down, and that she started today, the program, and I don't want to forget to follow up with her. All right. But you guys, am I going to follow up with Jill every single day? No, Jill would get sick of me. Jill would be like, leave me alone, leave me alone. And you guys, it's also strategic when you follow up with Jill, right? So I'll follow up with Jill in a couple of days. Hey, how's it going? How were those first 2 days? All right. And I'll tag people in the group. So you guys, I am a pen and paper. The more you write it down and the more you guys, because you think you'll remember it and you don't. And some of you guys are really good at computers, you know, but you guys get a book that has names, your target list, people that you've enrolled, and then get a book that of people that are your customers that you're going to follow up with. And then of course, also your business builders, but we should really be engaged with those people. So I hope that helps a little bit, Erin.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. You guys too. And one thing that, and I'm just going to throw this in here, and this is probably a whole other topic that we don't have time for tonight, but that's where adding people to groups can help so much, because when you add to a group, whether it's a group for transformations or for business, you guys, the group helps you with the follow-up process, right? It does tend to keep people somewhat engaged because, you know, be honest, how many of you are scrolling through this thing every day? And if you're in Facebook and this stuff's popping up. So that's just another way of engagement, but there's nothing like getting on the phone, calling, texting, and finding somebody. I think I saw Whitney. Whitney, are you on, or I don't know if you got on or not.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Whitney, I know that you, I don't know what system you use. I know that you are constantly, I mean, you've got people, you know, calling you and asking, you know, if they can join your team, but you've got so many things going on. Is there any systems or what processes do you use to follow through with people that have reached out to you, or you've reached out to them?
Yes, and sorry, y'all, I'm driving to pick up my daughter, so I can't turn my video on. But you know what I have found that works the best for following up with people, because, you know, sometimes you follow up with someone and they don't respond to you. I mean, I have that all the time where someone asks me for information, and then when I follow up with them a few days later, they don't even respond. And I know, like, probably like some of you, that can be frustrating, right? So what I like to do, and what has worked best for me, is if they've asked for information on a Facebook post, I'll make another post. And I will tell you, always when I make another post, I have people reach out and go, oh, I you sent me information last time, I'm ready to get started. And so sometimes just letting them see that information out there again reminds them that they wanted information, and you know, they'll ask you for it again. I mean, I keep a list too in my calendar. I just have my calendar that I use, my paper calendar I use every day, and I keep a list of who I add to the group. So that's typically what gets people signed up, in my opinion, is getting those posts out there and having people see it again. And then people are like, okay, I forgot. This sounds awesome. Let's do it.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you for that. You guys, are you starting to see some kind of theme here, right? One, maybe get one of these and one of these, right? Something to write with and something to write on, because every person that just shared, all of these people are very successful in this industry and in this company. And so I'm watching, you know, what I always look for is I'm watching, you know, you've heard the old thing, success leaves clues. Well, guys, there's a pattern here. And the pattern is processes that people have, right? And the follow through is just as important as finding people to share with, right? In fact, I would almost say that it's almost more important, because it's easier, in my opinion, to be consistent in the follow through, like John and Antoinette and like everybody else. You schedule an appointment for a decision. If they can't make a decision, what information do they need? Schedule another appointment, and you keep doing that. And then I'll just throw a little bit of my 2 cents in there. And this is something that as you grow and as your skills set gets a little bit better, some people you're going to realize are people like you'd really like them to be on your team, but the timing is wrong. And in that case, what I do, whether it's for me or people that I talk to for other people, like maybe it's somebody that's been in this industry or somebody that's got tremendous influence or affluent. And so what I do is say, hey, would it be okay if we just, followed up every 30 or 60 days, right? I'll ask them and I'll put that off a little bit, but it's somebody that I know when the time is right, they could be really, really good. I see Amy raising her hand. Is that what you're doing there?
Well, Aaron, would you mind?
Absolutely.
I don't want to interrupt you, but that's what happened with us. And you guys, if Aaron, I just want to say this, okay? So I was at a crossroads a year ago right now. So actually it popped up on my Facebook. I should have sent it to you, Aaron, that you became a friend with Aaron Decker. It popped up on Sunday a year ago. And I was with another company and I was unhappy, but and especially my personality type, if Aaron would have smothered me, I would have probably, even though I love Fred, and I probably would have been like, no, I can't have these people sponsor me. And that's exactly what Aaron did. He gave me room to breathe and make a decision. Aaron treated me like an intelligent human being. He didn't treat me like I didn't know anything. You guys, that's the other thing that you need to think about is these people they're not children. They know what they're looking for, and yet they don't know what they're looking for. And Aaron treated me with respect. And so, and you did that. That's why I raised my hand. That was the very first time Aaron and I met, and Ginger, and he said, let's follow up in 30 days. That was the best thing that Aaron Decker could have said to me. That put the pressure off me. I'm like, okay, this company's not slamming on me. That was the absolute best thing he could have done. And guess what? He continued to do that. And you know what? And then sometimes I would reach out to Aaron. And then there were times where Aaron would call or he would text, hey, just how are you? And it was nothing about the business, nothing. All right. And one time he called me out of the blue and I was literally having a breakdown. I was like, Aaron, this probably is not a good time. Our company had just done something else to me. I was like, Aaron, this is not a good time. I am not in a good place right now. And he's like, no, Aaron, no, Amy, let's just talk. What's going on? And it wasn't like he was trying to get the drama. Aaron didn't say one bad thing about that company. He just was a friend and listened. And then what did that do? I started trusting Aaron. And I was like, I got off the phone. I'm like, that man, Aaron did not say, see, I told you should have came over here. We won't do that to you. Don't do that. No, see, you should come over here, Amy. Amy, our company, we would always treat you good. He did not do that. Actually, he did the opposite. And that made me trust him. So Aaron, I hate to interrupt you, but I felt like God laid that on my heart because that took 6 months of you being very loving with me because I didn't sign up till June the 8th, people. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
No, and you guys, here's the thing, and it's a process, right? That's hard. That's hard to do because again, I want you to think about this. So that's a little bit different level. And I don't mean that in any negative way, but let's just go back when you're early on, when I'm early on this, I'm excited, like, because it seems to be once we make a decision, now it might take us 3, 4, 5 weeks, 5, 6, 7 times to see it. But once we make a decision, something inside us just makes us think that everybody then should make a decision because we took the time to make a decision. Does that make sense? And it's not that case. We got to step back and say, wait a minute, how long did it take me? It's all perspective. But early on, it's hard to have that kind of restraint. It's a skill that you learn, but here's the one thing that I must tell you. You have to get to a point, and whether it's Amy or many other people, it's a point where I truly, genuinely cared about her. And if she didn't come here, it was still going to be okay. And I was totally okay with that. I genuinely, listened to her. I felt bad for her because I know people that have been through that. I've been through a company that shut down. And so you have to be real, transparent, and authentic because you can't fake that. You can't fake that process. You can't fake caring about someone. And if that's a skill that I never want to see anybody get good at because it's a skill that will get you it won't get you anywhere. Not in this company, it won't. I don't believe at all. And in this industry, because people will find out that you're a phony. This industry has a brilliant way of exposing people that are only in it for the money and not in it for the people. You know, we'll see people that say, oh, it's all about the people on stage, and then they're not here in 6 months. There's a reason. And I'm not being ugly. I'm just telling you that's the way that it is. But so guys, follow up, follow through. And you know, if there's somebody that has a question, you know, type a question in there if you've got a question. But I just want to just kind of go through. Follow up, follow through is important, but it's more than what we think, right? I mean, if you listen to this, if you're taking notes, or if you want to go back and listen to this, follow up, follow through is when I'm first getting started and I'm brand new, I'm going to go through the process, right? The greet, qualify, invite, present, and then the follow up, follow through. Each one of those areas is skills that you can work on and develop. Each one of those, the more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the more you grow. The more you grow, the better you get. It just keeps going like that. But the follow-up, follow-through isn't just in that initial connection with a potential new brand partner or new customer. It's just as important when you get, like Jeannie said, when you get the new customer or new brand partner. See, sometimes that's the breakdown. If you've been here and you're like, well, and I've got, you know, 2 people started or 5 people started or 7 people started and none of them are doing anything. Now, it could be timing on their part, but what I'd like to do and what I like to do, and maybe I'm suggesting you might try at least, I don't like that word, but you know, if what you're doing is not getting you where you want as fast, maybe adjust and say, maybe I should follow up and follow through with my new customer, with my new teammate, and schedule appointments to follow up and be present with them. Because again, I'm going to go back to, and I bet I could bring everybody back on here and they'd all have a story for this too, where they did that follow up, like Jeannie just mentioned, like Tammy just mentioned, like Amy just mentioned, where they did that follow up. Or like, you know, Whitney did it through a post. She's really good at attraction marketing, but she's following up in a way that reminds them. And all of a sudden now that person either gets engaged, gets started, or thinks of somebody else. Oh yeah, maybe you should talk to this person or that person. So you guys, follow up, follow through has everything to do with what we do. And it's the last great skill set in the process, right? And it's something that we can all learn to master. But here's the thing. You just heard several different ways. What I suggest is figure out what works best for you. But the most important thing is you notice they all have a process that they do. Each one is somewhat similar, but yet unique. The greatest thing about this industry is we're not creating robots, right? You are all individual. You all have different talents, gifts, and abilities that God's given you. And we can all work on things that we're maybe weaker at, but learn the process, learn your process. And then here's the hard part, stick to the process. I'm guilty of not always sticking to the process. I can get distracted just like everybody else. But I know that I don't have my book with me. I know though that I can go to that and it keeps me on track, because when life happens, which is going to happen to all of us, if you've got things, you know, I love, you know, Jeannie even names the days, right? Like I love that. Okay. So it keeps her on track so she can stay in the process, you guys. And the fortune really is and will always be in the follow-up, because I don't know very many people that the first time that they see it, they make the decision and then they just go crush it. They might have made the decision. You still need to follow up and walk them through the process, because they might not get it as fast. They might not understand. They might have never been a part of this industry, you guys. And we are attracting people worldwide, and the stuff that's happening right now, more and more, we need to be reaching out. We need to be following up, following through. And to Amy's point, genuinely caring and being concerned about people, because you guys, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. And the one thing that you and I can provide is certainty. certainty that you're going to be there. You can be a good listener, and you've got something that can provide hope and opportunity for them if that's what they're looking for. So let's see, we just signed a new teammate because she was a post on a year ago. Scott Brott, there you go. Just signed a new teammate. Saw a post a year ago. Guys, if someone ghosts you, would you recommend to move to the next one? That's a whole other topic as well. I'm just going to tell you, I'm a little bit crazy. Here's my thing. I'm going to follow up with you until you tell me yes, or you tell me no, or you tell me, and we can, and like I said, or I'll agree that we'll just follow up every 30, 60, 90 days. But I'm going to set it up where I get an answer. Now, I'm a little crazy if you're not, then if you ghost me, this is probably a skill that you might want to learn. But the skill that I've developed is if you ghost me, it's just a fun challenge for me to get an answer from you. And I don't care if the answer is no. In fact, in most cases, not that I'm ever looking for a no, but I want an answer. I expect an answer. I took my time. My time is valuable. And for you to ghost me isn't really very cool, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to hammer on you, but I will tactfully stay after you. I will just tell you today, as we wrap up, you guys, another thing, and every leader that spoke, and there's many of you on here, and please, you guys, I'm not scrolling through the feed. So please, no, I'm not trying to leave anybody out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I had somebody today that they wanted to make phone calls. They're working on their 4x4. And guys, I'll sit down with somebody and they're making phone calls and I'm there just in case they need support, or we'll talk through things. But what am I doing? I'm making phone calls. I followed up with a guy that I follow up with probably 3 times a year, and it looks like he's ready. And so there's Wednesday, right? And I probably wouldn't, he's not even on a list. He's somebody that has the potential, but he's not like on a rock star list or anything. But what I'm doing is I constantly am going through my phone. I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in a while. Just call them. Boom, timing. So thank you for all of you that participated. Guys, I hope you're getting value out of these. This is tremendous stuff. I get as much out of these. I hope that you get, and thank you for everybody that's sharing. You know what? If you did get value out of tonight, can you just show some love to all the people that shared what they're doing and shared their tips and their ideas and took time out of their lives to share with you some of the skills that they've learned over the years? You know, show them some stuff, show them some love, tell them thank you, give them some hearts. Because guys, this is all about you, people helping people. We love you. We appreciate you. Hey, I got one challenge for you though. This week, everybody, there's 80 people on here, Amy Summers, 80 people that I know that has at least one person to follow up with. You guys, here's the deal. Here's the challenge. Follow up and follow through with as many people as you've got on your list. Now, that can include customers, current or past. That can include brand partners, current or past. That can include inactive customers or teammates. Follow up, follow through with them, or people that you've shared with and you forgot or you haven't followed up or followed through. Guys, keep track. Share with us next week. Have a great rest of your night. God bless.